Welcome back to War. Just kidding. That's what we call it. Weekly anime rundown, episode 5. What weeks is this?
Something.
Okay. Well, it's
6 and
past 2
7.
weeks since we didn't do this
7 and
last
8.
week.
7 and 8.
So we're doubling up this week. We got double the material. We got double the, probably not double the conversation. We run out of ideas to talk about pretty fast. Anyways, let's kick this off. Let's start with Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan.
Okay, so going back to 2 weeks ago, see if we can remember everything that happened. There was the Colossal Titan and the Eren.
I literally just, other than, what is it, The King's Avatar and Hero Academia, I basically watched all the episodes within the span of like the past 3 days.
Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna binge all this stuff. Like,
got him.
Last minute.
That probably should have been what I did, but I didn't. I watched them when they came out, so
yeah.
That's my fault. But last week, it was like the big battle between, the Colossal Titan or the Armored Titan and Eren. And the Colossal Titan was just chilling up top on the wall there, doing whatever.
I really gotta say, I really liked these past 2 episodes of Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
they're probably my favorite of this season.
They are pretty good for sure. I definitely really enjoy them.
The flashbacks fit in perfectly. They actually explained a little bit, and really the brawl between Eren and Reiner was fantastic.
Yeah, super good. And they lost what did they lose? They lost a few limbs or something like that. I think I saw.
Are you talking about the end of the second episode?
Yeah, they lost limbs because of the fight.
So what I know, I was actually gonna bring up a bit of this. I think Ymir actually grew back a couple of hers. Because I don't remember her having that much of her leg.
Maybe.
But obviously they cut off Eren's arms. Just straight up, they're like, you're not allowed to have these anymore. And on top of that, that actually might have happened when they cut him out. Because going all the way back to season 1, I think Levi said the only way to pull him out of Titan form is if they probably cut off his arms.
Good point.
So it may have been intentional, it may not have been. It may have just been a really good coincidence for them. It's not intentional that we cut it off, but it's good that we did.
Yeah. It's whoops, yeah. Oh well. Okay, well it's a good thing it happened anyway.
Okay, so I brought up last season, and I know this is going off track, but going back to the first season, when Hanjis had the 2 captured Titans. That's how you say your name, right?
Sure, dude.
It's Hange.
Yeah,
you're
good.
The creepy, nerdy lady with the glasses.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
When she had the 2 Titans captured, Sunny and Bean. My question is, why didn't they peel off the stuff on the neck to see what they're cutting into to kill them? Why didn't they just peel away layers from the neck until they see what's inside the neck that they're actually destroying?
Yeah, I don't know. That probably would have been smart, wouldn't it have?
That's actually probably the reason why I think Annie killed them.
Could be. Could be.
To protect everybody, yada yada yada. But, yeah, that just came to mind because I was watching the past couple episodes, and Eren was literally about to break Reiner's neck or possibly stretch Reiner out physically and kill him. And I was thinking, I wonder what it's like in there. And at the same time, if normal Titans have people inside of them, why haven't people figured it out yet?
Yeah.
Anyways,
I
that was
don't
a bit
know.
of a weird tangent. Back to Hanji's, when she was on Eren's shoulder and he was like, and all that, just her little fangirling was the cutest thing. She just stops breathing and she's just like, just sits there, and it's like I feel like if she stood there any longer, she would have just wet herself or something.
Okay.
You're like, girl, calm down. This ain't like talking to your celebrity crush, man. Well, I guess it is technically to her, but anyways, she had a total fangirling moment. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so before I ramble on anymore, what was your favorite scene
from these last two episodes here?
Yeah.
I would have to say it was probably the scene when Eren decided he was gonna armbar Reiner out of nowhere. That kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, "Yo!" That's when I started like actually getting into the fight, like I was watching MMA or something.
It actually was a lot like an MMA fight. Like all of the twirling Eren was doing on the ground.
Yeah,
and, like,
dude.
all the different types of armbarring he was doing to Reiner's different limbs. Like he was just switching from like limb to limb and like breaking crap off, and he was just doing whatever. It's like this looks like an MMA fight, but about the size of a football field.
Yeah, there's no octagon keeping him in a secluded little area.
That was probably my favorite scene, but my favorite scene to make fun of was after Hans comes back and he gives like the pep talk to freaking, why am I forgetting Blondie's name? What's wrong with me? What's Blondie's name?
What is Blondie's name?
Eren. No, not Eren. Freaking the crybaby.
Who's the crybaby?
No. One of the main three guys.
The guy? Oh, Connie?
No, not Connie.
No?
He's blonde. He's not bald.
Oh, that's right.
Freaking... God damn it.
Yeah,
But when he came back to give the pep talk to Mikasa and the other guy. For some reason I can't remember his name, but I'm thinking of him, and I know exactly who I'm talking about. Anyways, when he came back and he gave the pep talk to them, and like he gave them the food, he's like, "You'll need to eat," and all that, and then they start enthusiastically eating cracker bars. And that is actually what they are. I stopped on one of those information pages and read about the nutrition facts. It's a dense cracker bar. That is what it is. And it sounds gross. But they're like sitting there and they're like, I'm determined to eat this cracker. And they're just sitting there like, and that's the noises they're making, and they just, it's like when you tell a 3-year-old his life mission is to eat his snack. And he's just so determined to do it. And I compared it to, like, Death Note, when Light Yagami is eating a potato chip.
Chip.
He's just like, I'm gonna take this potato chip and eat it. It's just like, what is up with enthusiastic eating food in anime? It's just like, why does eating food have to be so intense? Just eat it like a normal human being.
Got him, dude.
It's just that was just a side note. I just had to make a note of that.
Going off on a little tangent real quick.
They're just like, I'm gonna eat this cracker bar and eat it. And it's just like, okay, settle down, you two. Just, it's food. I get you need to eat. Just don't take it out on the food. It didn't do anything to you.
Yeah, right.
Jeez. I saw that scene and I just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, this is supposed to be a pumped up emotional moment, and I'm just sitting here because they're so enthusiastic about eating crackers. It's out of place, you know?
Yeah.
A mile-high person destroying the last bit of humanity, and they're eating crackers.
Gotta get them calories in, boy.
Yeah. Alright, anyways, did you have anything left for Attack on Titan? Or...
Not really. I mean, it was a pretty straightforward type of... Other than the flashbacks, it was pretty much just the fight. And eating crackers, like you said. So...
The importance of eating those crackers. Just, oh my god, that was stupid. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to Hero Academia.
The heroes that are fighting.
Yeah. I don't know why I did that. I'm
Episode 7. It was the.
So to be honest, I was thinking they were gonna skip all the quote unquote less important fights, and we were gonna be able to see like Todoroki versus Midoriya within these 2 episodes. And then I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't, because it's kind of cool to see all these different quirks against each other.
Yeah, honestly. So, Izuku, what did he do? He did 2 weeks ago. He won the fight. Obviously, that was pretty simple. We all knew that was gonna happen, but like the way he broke out.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
Was really interesting.
I'm actually gonna sidestep what you're talking about and bring up the shadows from All for One. I'm kind of worried the fact that All Might was one of those shadows.
It's probably just because he's used it before. Probably has nothing to do with.
The nurse talked about it. When the nurse brought it up, because obviously the nurse knows about the power. She knows like the inner workings of it, and when she brought up the fact that he was one of the shadows, she seemed worried. Like she's like something bad's gonna happen to you now because you're classified as a past user of this power.
Maybe he'll just be stuck in his like little skinny form rather than getting all big.
So
yeah.
This show has kind of taken a tad bit more serious turn. Like, I don't know how to describe it. The 2 shows for the past 2 weeks that have both kind of had this feeling was Recreators and Hero Academia. And it's just the tone of the show just slightly shifted.
Yeah.
And it's like more serious. Like it's basically the difference between watching 2 different anime. One is set up for adults and one is set up for younger people. And I've kind of been viewing both of these shows as for younger people. Not like saying it's a kids show, but like
I would not say Recreators is for younger people.
Well, it had cutesy people in it and the adorable characters, and up until now, most of it was comedy relief.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's save the Recreators argument for Recreators.
Yeah.
We can do that next if you want. But for Hero Academia, it's just like, I don't know. There's a lot more of a serious tone now. Like, there's a tension. That's a better way of putting it. It's not like the anime itself has changed or the mood has really changed, but it's just, you can tell that there's a tension between these people, and they're like really duking it out. The first few parts of this competition, and even the beginning part of like the one-on-one fights between like Midoriya and Shinzo, kind of had the softer tone to it. I'm not saying it was like childish, but it was softer.
Yeah, I got you.
And then now it's like, nah, this guy's probably gonna break the other person's neck, and they're gonna show it. So, anyways, that's why I'm thinking like I'm worried that All Might was in All for One, because this is probably completely wrong. I'm just making an assumption, but what if the process of taking on the power is a foreshadowing to what the power does? Because how he got the power was he consumed part of All Might. So
Correct.
What if actually completely taking over the power means he physically consumes All Might? Like All Might becomes a part of Midoriya.
I can see that happening. That would make sense.
Because All Might's becoming weaker and weaker and weaker. And on top of that, like, just the tone that the nurse had of, like, how she was worried. And then All Might's reaction of, oh, that's a good thing. He said that in the way that, like, yeah, something bad's gonna happen, but I was expecting it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking, like, I feel like something bad's gonna happen to All Might because he's passing on his power.
Yeah, maybe. I could see that, definitely. I could see that happening. So, getting back on from where you sidestepped, the way Izuku broke out of the brainwash,
I feel like that was a tad bit overkill.
It might have been a tad bit overkill, but it was interesting. Like, I didn't see that being the way he broke out.
To be honest, I couldn't figure out how he was going to break out.
Neither could I.
Because, well, I say that that's overkill mainly because he broke his fingers and basically didn't he like destroy part of the stage?
Yeah. He needed to get a shock.
Like, he exploded his 2 fingers.
That's what it takes these days to get a shock.
And like literally all the other guy got was he was bumped and then he knocked out. So basically any form of physical contact that could physically like distract someone would break them out of the trance.
Yeah, but I feel
like saying, like making his fingers explode was a bit overkill, but at the same time I can't think of anything smaller than that he could have done.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, nobody else around him was gonna be able to touch him, so the only way he could do it was from himself, and I feel like that was the least, like, that was gonna hurt him the least of everything he could have done.
Possibly.
I'm not, like you said, I'm not sure there was another thing that he could have done that would have made that situation better.
So, but on that same scene, let's see. Yeah, that was what I was gonna bring up. The, after he sees the 7, was it 7 or was it 8?
I'm not sure the exact number.
I think it was 8. It was like 2 on top and then 2 rows of 3. After he saw them, you saw, like, the best way I could put it is, like, glowing veins from the intro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The like, just the, basically the power, like, covering his outer body.
Yeah.
I feel like that is an example that he's getting more control over it.
I definitely think he is getting some more control over it, to be honest.
I wonder, would you classify it more as him or the predecessors taking control and doing it? Like, would it be like an Avatar: The Last Airbender kind of thing?
Oh, that's a good question. It could be, honestly, it could be his, like, the predecessors, like you said. That would definitely be a thing that I could see happening. Yes, that's a great question.
But yeah, that's what I wasn't entirely sure. Like, obviously there's more going on with the power than All Might has ever even led on to us thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it harder to be able to predict what the heck is going to go on. Like, by far, there's no way I'll be able to figure this out before it happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving up from that one scene we've been talking about for like 10 minutes. I love how, like, still sticking to that match, I love how Shinzo was just playing with him after the match.
Oh, yeah.
That she just keeps hypnotizing him over and over and over again.
Yeah. That was good. I like that.
That was actually pretty great. Let's see. After that was Todoroki's fight, right?
Todoroki and Sero.
Actually, Todoroki's showing more character now. Obviously, because it's his plot development time, or his character development time.
Yeah.
And like I totally feel for him, and I love how like after his fight he's like melting the other guy. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I got angry." It's just he froze half of the stadium. Like not even just the like arena, just the stadium. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I got a little bit angry."
Got a little bit out of hand here.
Just like that look he was showing, like right before he froze everything, is just like, oh crap, shit's gonna hit the fan. And to be completely honest, I knew he was gonna lose it, but I wasn't entirely sure if it was gonna be fire or ice. And just like that sheer amount of power from his mother's power, he's definitely not happy with his dad, and he's trying to show off. And at the same time, he lost his temper just a little bit.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Muy pequeño.
Muy pequeño. And that español, though.
Yes. Was that really all it was in the first one?
That was about the first episode. Was just those two fights. Then the second episode was like the 6 other fights that happened.
And then next episode it's gonna be Bak-chan and Uraraka.
Yeah.
Which I really look forward. I think it's going to be a fair fight.
I think Uraraka is gonna show something that nobody has seen before. And like she's gonna actually, like you said, it's gonna be like an actually close battle.
I'm not entirely sure if she's gonna do something new. I think she's not. I think she's already shown everything her power can do. But I think she's gonna do some stuff to balance it out.
She's gonna find a way.
Like if you think about it, if she makes Bak-chan weightless, if he sets off a single explosion, he's going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Straight up. Like the thing that keeps him in place when he uses his quirk is his weight.
Yeah.
And earlier, like in the training, when he actually like unloaded his full potential, with like when he stored it up in his gauntlet and like released it, he moved.
Yeah.
So obviously they made it realistic to the point to where his explosions affect like his physical movement. But I feel like if she gets close enough to touch him and make him weightless, he's gonna go flying. And all it takes is for him to go outside the ring, and he's done.
Yeah.
Plus, how determined she is. When women are that determined, it's scary.
That's very true.
Not to be sexist, but women are scary. On that note, though, I feel really bad for Yaoyorozu.
Yeah.
Like, she was determined. Like, she's like, well, not really determined. She's kind of panicked right before. She was like making her ideas right before the round is about to start, and Tokiyami's like, I'm not giving you a second chance.
Tokiyami tried specifically to not hurt Yaoyorozu.
And if you notice, like, because his shadow, like they were saying, it has no lag time. He can summon it instantly, and it can move around with ease and very quickly. So obviously, he's got an edge on basically anyone who has to stop and think for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's actually really bad for Yaoyorozu because she has a really OP ability. She can make whatever she wants.
But it's a lot of thinking time.
She has to physically come up with a plan for it before.
Yeah.
And with how it was when she was fighting off with the villains, she did a fantastic job. She did really good. So, but just Tokiyami's like, I ain't giving you space.
Yeah. All right. So what are they gonna do about the draw that happened with Kirishima and Tetsu?
So they said when they both recover, it'll be settled by a smaller thing like an arm wrestle.
Okay.
Because apparently duking it out means they both pass out at the same time. And to be completely honest, I was actually thinking that I forgot the guy's name, but the steel guy was gonna have the advantage.
Kirishima?
No, Kirishima's just hardening.
Oh.
Right? I don't know.
I can't
The
remember,
guy
dude.
from Class B.
Yeah, I think that's Kirishima.
It might be, I don't know. But I figured he would have the advantage mainly because steel weighs more.
Yeah.
Because the other guy, he can harden his body, but I don't think that would add weight. And weight makes your hits hurt more. Like, it's like the difference between getting hit with a pillow and a brick, basically.
Very true.
Oh, no, that's a bad example. But
yeah, definitely a bad example.
It's like the difference between getting hit with a lead pipe and a copper pipe.
Sure. All right. Sure.
That technically works.
We'll go with that.
Anyways, that was also a really bad example. More for it being an example, but it was still accurate. Yeah, I'm out of things to talk about.
All right, let's roll on to Recreators then and talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, let's do Recreators. Recreators I can do.
So we found out the name of the Gunpuku. Altair, dude. And
on a side note, I know that you literally brought this up, but I just need to say this. The demonic girl, I forget her name. Probably wrote it down, I'm just not seeing it.
Magane.
Yeah, she's a lot more feminine than I was expecting.
Dude, she's pretty lit. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you.
She's pretty cool and all that. It's just in the intros and like the quick movements that they show in the intros, she just seemed a lot more masculine. Or not really masculine, but less feminine. So I was expecting like almost guy sounding tomboy. And it turns out, she's just a demonic schoolgirl. Her even face structure kind of looks like a guy. Like to be the best example, her face structure is that of Greed from Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
And he's a dude. Well, not the manga. In the manga, I think he's a chick. No, wait, no, that was NB. Never mind.
Alright, dude.
No, not NB, but whatever. Just
chill. It's fine, bro. It's fine.
No, I'm just getting a rant on something completely unrelated. But,
Also, I do want to point out that this is actually an original anime. So there's no, it's not based off of anything like a manga. It's completely original.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's not that many. And
on that note, actually, I liked how, literally, if you've noticed, every character is from a different genre. Like, not necessarily, exact opposites, but, because all of them are definitely from, some form of quote-unquote violent anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
But, Blitz is probably from... They said he was a mercenary, but I still kind of get the feeling he's from, some form of mystery and or detective anime.
Yeah, it could be.
Alice is definitely from, a fantasy.
Momika's
Victoria is from, most likely, an RPG game.
Yeah, she...
I don't know what type of game she's from, but she's from a graphic
I think
novel.
she is from a game.
She is. I think she's the only one. And then you got, you got a mecha, you got
The idol,
demon,
the
or the
idol.
demonic, which is actually a genre. And so it's just like I like how all of them, like you don't really have two from the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good, interesting
I
thing to bring
For
up.
some reason I just noticed that, and I was like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like that.
Although that kind of brings us back to I wonder what Altair is from. Like
Yeah,
obviously she's from something.
she's from Eternal War's Megalosphere. I don't know what it
Do
is
you know
though.
what that means?
I don't. It's the thing that Soda created.
I don't
I don't know exactly what it is though.
think Soda created it.
At the very end of episode 7, he almost slipped up and said, "She's my creation," but he stopped himself.
I don't. I don't think that's that either.
I mean, it. He
He
was
said
totally
he
about to
said
say
she's
that.
my, and then stopped. He could say friend's creation. He could say friend, or yeah, he could say my creation.
That's true. I didn't even think of that. My
Because
friend.
that girl is somehow related to him in the past.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And she has some connection to Altair, and they just aren't spilling it.
Yeah. I forgot about all that stuff.
And that's what I'm thinking about is like there is something going on with Sota's past and this roundabout, Altair thing.
Yeah, because these last two episodes didn't really even talk about that girl at all. They kind of just left it behind.
And at sometime in the first episode, I don't know if it was the beginning or the end, that it was showing like Sota going through the internet and all that.
Yeah, it was like the very beginning. I think it opened up like that before the intro song and whatnot.
Possibly, yeah.
I think that's what happened there.
But it's just, I think if he created it, he wouldn't have forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a
Because
good
every
point.
other creator of one of these realizes it instantaneously as they show up.
That's true.
As well as, he wouldn't have had to Google search it and browse through like forums to find her. Because
Yeah.
if it clicked in his head like that, he wouldn't have had to look it up. It would have just clicked in his head.
Yeah,
So
that's
obviously Altair has some
Mhm.
form of connection to that past friend of his
that's true.
that, has purple hair.
And also the Hongaku power that Yuya had,
Mm-hmm.
that was I didn't see that coming at all.
Wait, which one was Yuya?
The like pink hair, purple hair type of thing guy with the sword.
Oh yeah, I figured it was.
He like
Well, I mean,
summoned
he showed it before.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it was
Although, so definitely Yuya makes me think of Persona. I don't know if you played that or seen it or not. It's just
that's a negative.
yeah, I played the games. Basically, they just summon a celestial version of something that highlights their traits, and that's definitely what it looks like.
That makes a lot of
Which
sense.
really makes him an issue to fight with because you're fighting two people.
Just like Tokiyami. Got him.
Tokoyami really just kind of stays still and makes his shadow do it.
That's yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'll step off.
Although he is definitely built, and I bet if you got past the shadow, he would beat the crap out of you. Like, if you, in that fight, when he had his arms crossed and the shadow was doing everything, you could see the dude's muscles ripple. Like, he's ripped. He doesn't show it, but he's ripped. Anyways.
So what do you think Magana's doing? Because she's like following a couple of people around and like just kind of like eavesdropping on what they're talking about. And she's got that.
She has her own agenda.
Yeah, like.
And I think she's actually going to team up with Altair.
You think so?
But not for the reasons like Alice and
Momoko.
Mimiko is. I think she's doing it because she wants to like have some fun and destroy the planet.
What about Blitz? Is Blitz also working with Altair?
That's another thing I wanted to bring up. Blitz is working with Altair, but at the same time, I also think that he actually might know about Altair's plan.
Blitz is a really, like, he's kind of still mysterious. Like, we don't really know much about him yet. He's just kind of there.
Well, he's a mercenary. That's what mercenaries do.
Well, I know, but we haven't really we've gone into, like, the backstory of a lot of the characters, but we haven't really gone too deep into Blitz.
Oh yeah, because I really want to say this is technically his first appearance, because sitting in a corner saying like a one-liner doesn't count.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that one.
So, anyways, on a side note, which character would you say you personally fit closest to?
I fit closest to?
Yeah, like your personality matches up with.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Gotta get ballsy.
That's a good question. Now I gotta sit here and think about all the questions and all the different characters and everything. Wow. Well, it's not the mech. That's a negative. It's probably not Momika. That's probably also a negative.
I don't know, like
Negative.
the last scene of the second episode, she's a lot serious. Like she's a lot more serious.
Yeah, but she's
not like not like cheerleader sounding.
That's a negative for me. That's a not like me. I don't know. I'd have to go with probably someone like Celestia or Meteora, probably.
Mm.
And if I was talking about like my inner self, myself that nobody really knows about, it's probably Megane. But I don't. There's no point in showing that side.
Yeah.
That's not worth it. I'll just go to prison or something. Yeah, maybe I'll do it now.
I'm probably like a mix somewhere between. I like to outwardly show like the mech, mainly because it's fun.
You.
But I'm probably a good mix between like Megana, Blitz, and Meteora.
Blitz? You don't even like hardly know Blitz.
The way he acts, the way he talks.
Oh, just yeah, okay.
Like he's just there to be there.
I got you. I get your part of Blitz. I get it.
But on top of that, I love his weapon.
The revolver.
Fucking amazing. He has gravity bullets.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, that's it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And he has a watch that makes him go anti-gravity.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me a little bit too. I was like, whoa, so everybody can fly.
So basically, Blitz, I would say, is probably the most human.
Yeah.
Oh no, I take that back. The mech guy. Mech guy just literally all he has is a mech.
You're right. Like, he's nothing without his mech.
Well, he does martial arts.
Okay, shut up. He's nothing without his mech.
I mean, beat the crap out of two guys with machine guns while eating a cookie.
Yeah, they were government people, so military, whatever you want to call them.
That's still probably like my favorite scene from the episode. Anyways, I'd really say like Blitz and the mech are like the only two really human people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone else is able to fly, whether it's spells included or not. Just straight up, I'd say they're really the only two classified as like fully human by our standards.
Yeah, I would agree with you for sure on that one.
Mainly because Blitz relies on gadgets rather than anything else, so that's why he's able to do that.
Yeah.
On a side note,
side note,
changing the conversation. The second episode was all about everyone's character is changing. Like they were talking about how their personalities are changing after coming to this world.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they aren't changing, but I don't think it's the way that they described it in that discussion they had. Because what they said was, it's probably traits and personality gimmicks and things like that weren't revealed in the anime because of, plot unveiling and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And actually what I think is their personalities are changing because they came to this world. And by that I mean, like, you know how the world had to compensate for them existing?
Yeah.
That was a whole discussion they had, and I'm not like doing all that because that's too much to talk about. We already did it. But I think the world, like, I think it's them compensating to the world, and their personalities are becoming more realistic and human by our standards.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're changing and becoming a different person, or more traits of their personality are showing that were supposed to be revealed later on in the story. It's that they're physically becoming human.
Yeah, they're adjusting to the world they're in.
Like Momoka. She's the carefree child, magical girl, but when she realized, I blew up a building, the more serious human side of her that has now been introduced, the realistic personality that's been introduced into her, is like, oh, this shit got serious. Legitimately. So that's what I'm thinking is, it's not their personality is really changing, or it's because of the way that they were supposed to be written later on. It's that they're becoming realistic. Because there's no such thing as a person who's carefree 24/7. And if there is, either they have some type of, like, stunted emotions, or they just don't show it and they actually are, like, stressed out half the time.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
Alright. That was a nice long conversation about Recreators.
It was nice, long, and independent. What's up next on the scoreboard?
Okay, I'll pick. Oh, dang, we already went through almost everything.
Alright.
I guess let's do King's Ab. No, because we always finish on Love Tyrant. We, like, always finish on Love Tyrant. Let's do Love Tyrant next.
Alright. Sounds good.
So I didn't take notes on this, mainly because I watched it literally before I got here. Yeah, that was interesting. Again, Akane is still my favorite character.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess.
Especially since, like, literally these past 2 episodes were plot development for her.
Yeah, episode 8 was a lot of plot development for her.
Although, I know I literally started this off with Akane, but I wonder what Shikimi's gonna do.
Dude, Shikimi is... I'm still kind of wondering how she's about to get herself in this circle, because I still feel like she's gonna.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, I'm not saying she's gonna, like, I'm not entirely sure that's, like, predetermined. Well, she obviously has the feeling about her for being in the circle, but what I was gonna say is, she's set up as a main character, but she's not acting like one.
Yeah.
Like, because you can have people who act like main characters but are always a side character, or you can have, like, people who act like side characters but obviously are a main character. And she only shows up every so often, but she's present and included in everything as if she is a main character. She has the perfect setup in everything to be a main character, and she's just not.
Yeah, I don't... So something's gonna happen, I think, pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely something's gonna happen. If you stay to the end, like, after the credits, I only did this mainly because I looked away from the screen to text something, and I looked back up, and it was after credits. It was, they do the preview for the next episode.
Yeah.
I think it was Shikimi in, like, 8 different costumes. Like not like on the screen at once, but it was like going from scene to scene, and she was
Yeah.
in a different costume. So I think next episode's going to include a lot of Shikimi.
Maybe she's gonna become a main character in the next episode. Who
That's
knows?
what I'm thinking. But then again, at the end of the last episode, she was all like, "Oh, you're still boring," and that's the attitude that's been keeping her from being a main character.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is, she might have some form of personality change like Akane had. Or if she
Maybe.
doesn't, then they have to find some way to include her into this mess because she is not included, and I don't know how she's gonna fit in. And
Yeah.
it's like bugging the crap out of me because she's there, but she's not. And it's like she's supposed to be included or kicked out. Like you can't do this weird main character, side character bullcrap. It just doesn't work. Yeah, that's my mini rant about Shikimi.
All right. Can I hit you with a side note right now? Can
Yeah,
I
go
can
for
I
it.
drop a side note on you?
Go for it.
So, Corrali is like every time he shows up, I get a little creeped out, dude.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like holy crap. Just
He's just I can't do it with the face. I can't do it.
I told you that at first, and you're like, oh no, it's fine. And
It's
now you're like,
he's
I
working
can't
on
do
me.
this.
He's every episode when I see him, it's stronger and stronger.
He's starting to bother you more and I'm getting used to it more and more. uh, freaking though, the episode 8 though, he creeped me out. Like officially, the way he was hitting on Aqua was just like, you're a cat.
You're a cat, my
Slow
guy.
down. And even in your angelic form, you look like a titan who was cropped to look like a cupid. Slow down, pal.
Slow
It's
it up.
gross. It's nasty. You can go away now.
Speaking of
Just yeah.
episode 8, um, the way Guri was just memeing all over the place whenever they were rescuing Akane, dude.
I loved. I so personally, what I love about this anime, I like Recreators because it's so diverse. I like all the other ones because of one aspect. I like this one because literally it's a meme of anime.
It really
If you
is.
pay attention, Guri knocks off other anime directly. Like while she
Guri,
was fighting
yeah,
Akane, she used substitute jutsu from Naruto.
yeah, dude.
Like what?
It's Guri, like the character Guri is such an anime, like just memeing all over
Just
anime.
physically, the character is a meme of anime.
It's
It's perfect.
I love it so much.
It's
That's what
amazing.
drives me to watch the episodes so much, dude.
Oh man, it's just that was these past couple episodes were really like just they had more stuff to talk about. Not only we're sitting there like Love Tyrant, lovey-dovey moe blob stuff. Next one, and then now we're just like substitute jutsu, character development for once, And side note,
Oh yes,
the
I
when
live
he
for
first
these
showed
side notes.
when okay, not side note. Side note's basically just saying I'm changing the conversation, and if we go back, I will. But the guy hitting on Guri for the festival.
Yeah,
To be honest, I thought he was like a demon. Like I thought he was going to be a demon. Turns out he was just controlled by one. But
Mao's not a demon.
what do you mean? He's like the lord of them.
He's not a demon.
He's like the lord of them, right?
He wants Guri to
Be the
be
head of
it.
the underworld.
Yeah,
But
pretty much.
yeah, I was figuring the guy was actually going to be one, and it turns out no, he was just mind controlled.
Yes, I mean, like, I knew right from the get-go that something was going on, but I didn't know if he was a demon or if, cause I kind of low-key completely forgot about Mao Like, totally, 100%. I completely
totally
forgot about him.
Too, and that's why I just assumed he was a demon instead of controlled by one. Because if I remembered about Mao, I probably would have thought, oh yeah, he might be possibly controlled, but yeah, he's straight up a demon.
Or Mao was he turned himself into the guy or something like that.
That's another hint. Yeah, that could have been.
Yeah, that's just.
Well, he doesn't want to interfere with Guri. He just.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. He said that afterwards.
But yeah, it's just. I don't know. It's weird. Mao's a weird guy. He's like a flamboyant. He's like the principal from Blue Exorcist. He really is like the principal from Blue Exorcist.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, I can see it.
White uniforms and white top hats and are very flamboyant.
I can see it. Maybe the author was like.
Maybe that's another meme.
Hey,
Maybe they're knocking off another anime.
It's just a whole nother meme right there put into it. There's probably so many low-key memes that we're not even picking up on.
Yeah.
And it's just going right over our heads.
It took me a couple seconds to get the substitution anime. Or the substitution jutsu. I was like, oh, that looks familiar, and I thought about it. I'm like, oh, they're just knocking off Naruto. So if I just go back and rewatch it up until now, be back with a list of 50 things. Look at this reference. Do that. That's too much work, and we've already moved on from all those episodes.
Yeah. Although I did enjoy the episode 6 3 weeks ago or whatever when they brought in all the Western stuff and the horror situation. That was pretty nice.
Bringing up episode 6. Episode 8 came out, and then I went to my website I watched it on, and I opened the last 2 episodes that were released. Turns out I only opened episodes 6 and 7 because I didn't refresh the page. So I started watching it today, and it's like, this is episode 6. I've already seen this. I'm like, why are they back at the beach? We've already been at the beach. What's going on? And then I looked at it, I'm like, oh, I've already seen this episode.
Kill me.
But yeah. Even episode 6 had its good moments. It was more of a comedy relief breather, kind of. But it introduced a new aspect of Guri, the whole struggling with what love is.
Yeah.
I'm glad we had that break, even though it was really hard to talk about for this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's talk about the King's Avatar. Does that sound good?
Okay, let's talk about King's Avatar because King's Avatar is amazing. Let's talk about King's Avatar all the freaking time because. Oh my God, yeah. King's Avatar.
Right now, I just want to say it. Ever since the last episode of the weekly anime rundown, I can't stop looking at Hao's nose. I can't. Every time he's on the screen, I'm just on his nose.
You know what? I can't believe that didn't bother you before that.
It didn't even cross my mind before that, and then you brought it up.
The moment he was on screen, before I even knew what his name was or if he was important, it bothered me.
It didn't cross my mind.
His nose is wrong. Someone needs to go back and be like, can we re-release the last 3 episodes and just fix this guy's nose?
It's just bothering me a little bit.
The freaking illustration department and be like, fix this dude's nose now.
Reanimate this right now. Oh my God, dude.
Did you ever watch the movie Tangled?
Absolutely not.
No. Well, okay, so one of the main characters is super duper attractive, and he's a wanted thief, and all of his posters, they mess up the dude's nose. Horribly. Sometimes it's a foot long, other times it's the size of a cooking pot or something. It's completely deformed every time on a wanted poster. I know the exact opposite is going to happen when fan art hits the fan. You're going to see Hao's nose, and it's going to be pristine and looking beautiful, and Hao's going to be somewhat attractive. And then you go back to the original illustration of him is like, what the fuck is wrong with this
What
guy?
what is going on right here, dude?
I'm like, what is wrong with your nose? The fan art looks so good, but your face is messed up. He got run over by a car, like. But anyway. Yeah,
I also want to point out that for some reason, episode 7, the animation just felt so much smoother and a lot better than the other episodes.
I noticed that. That was really interesting. I'll agree with that. Like, before you would have occasionally like a jerky gesture or something just seemed kind of off, but that whole episode was like really smooth, nice transitions. It was all around like great, and it was very different from like all the other ones. It was really weird.
Yeah, it just right from the beginning I was like, something feels a lot better about this episode.
It's a lot cleaner and like,
yeah.
That's a really hard thing to describe, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. It's honestly, I don't know. I don't know why they would. All right, it's episode 7. We're halfway through. Let's make the animation better.
Well, I mean, I'm not complaining.
Oh no, I love it. It's anything to make this show better. It's the greatest thing I've seen.
You started off that way. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You could have started off with a better animation.
Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. I like it. Nothing to complain about.
Yeah, same.
So let's actually start talking about the episodes.
I love how they had to take literally a full guild to take Yi on.
And they still didn't win.
Well, I mean, Yi kind of... Oh, yeah, actually, they all lost, didn't they? And then they came back. Because apparently they had a fight, and then it was like the beginning of the next episode was round 2, I think. I think that's how they did it. Right?
I don't know, something like that.
That's either how they did it, or I just misinterpreted. But yeah, like the whole guild show up, and they were like trying to take him on, and then just he logged off. It was the best. He was like, "See ya, bye."
See ya, dude. Get out of here.
It was really funny, and then he started taking the guild on like one person at a time. Because it was a forced arena for betting, which is really smart on Yi's part because the wizard is using Yi as practicing for his team.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Yi's like, okay, as long as you pay a fee.
Yep. That's what same thing I would do, bro. I'd be like, hey, whatever, just make sure you give me some of that good, homie.
And on top of that, he's even leveling up because he's beating the crap out of like tons of high-level people.
True statement.
Now, again, on the whole level difference, if I'm not wrong in assuming this, Tiny Root, that's what it's called, right? That's the wizard's team.
Tiny Herb?
Or yeah, it's Tiny Herb. I feel like all their characters are higher level than Yi.
That could be. I'm not entirely sure.
But, I mean, it's... At least the wizard is. Because that's his main profile.
Yeah.
And... So he started over on a new, fresh profile. But his old one should still be, the high tier level, the same as the wizard's.
Yeah, should be.
And he took on the wizard with his lower level profile and ended it in a draw.
Yeah.
He's
pretty outstanding.
If I'm not assuming wrong in the fact that, they're still higher level, then literally the assumption that Yi and this guy are squared off is wrong. Because Yi's working with a lower level profile. That's like saying I beat your level 30 class with a level 5. Probably not that big of a difference, but still, just that difference in power ending up balancing out just shows, there is definitely a skill difference there.
Yeah. For sure, for sure.
Did you have anything you wanted to say?
Well, let's see here. The the uh the battle scenes with the whole like training and stuff, and like the battle you mentioned where it was a draw between them two. I
Yeah.
just I know I'm bringing up the animation a lot, but man, it's just,
It was very
it's
crisp
I
and
really
clean and
enjoyed the
smooth.
battle scenes.
It was very fluid. And maybe that's why they amped it up, because most of the last two episodes have been battle scenes.
Yeah, there's been a lot more. Yeah, maybe that might
So
be
maybe
the reason why.
they made it smoother mainly because they had to focus.
Yeah, cause the battles. Yeah, that I mean maybe that
Because
could
most of the
be.
last two episodes was in game.
That is true.
They didn't switch out of the game all that much, and when they did, it was usually like a third of it was chat room, and the
Yeah,
other 2/3 was like people standing in a circle. So
yeah,
most of these last two episodes was in game, and I actually really kind of like this because normally it's about half and half or more in the real world, and just that much in-game fighting and in-game talking was a nice change of pace.
yeah. For
Um,
sure, for sure. I agree with that completely.
Now just quickly, I'm gonna touch on this topic. I like how Yi basically described the wizard and his playstyle, and he described playstyle. I'm probably butchering this, but I'm paraphrasing. He said that playstyle was an ability unique to the person. He probably said it differently or meant it in a different way, but basically, like, I love how he said, you know, playstyle is a tool. It's not, a crutch or an advantage. It's how you do it your way.
Mhm.
And in that way, you're different from everyone else. So therefore, you will have your own advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was giving the one guy from Tiny Herbs and going to like, what was it, the Ghost Blade class,
Oh yeah.
and he was also describing the magician. Like, basically, the magician gave up his playstyle to have a team,
Uh huh.
and that's when you think about that. He's nicknamed the Wizard because he's unpredictable, and naturally, wizards are unpredictable because they're just all over the fucking place.
Mm. Yeah.
But for a wizard to be in a team, they have to become predictable. If you ever play like an RPG MMO game, people always pick off the wizards first because usually they don't have a lot of health, and they normally stand still because they're in the background shooting off spells.
Yeah.
But the wizard in this, he's like full on battle mage.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
in your face, blowing up half the arena at the time, kind of thing. And it's very obvious that he had to give up the way he plays to have a team because they just can't keep up with him.
Yeah.
His unpredictability makes him hard to work with. That's like he's in the middle of a charge and then does a 180, does a retreat, and blows up a quarter of the arena. Like, no one can really predict that because he's making up his moves on the fly. And I really kind of liked how Yi brought that up and kind of explained that.
Yeah.
And like, it was like, your play style specifically to you is important because it's a part of how you play.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a really well worded statement or explanation, whatever you want to call it. Well,
It really makes me kind of wonder, like, what's gonna happen with this show.
dude.
Like, obviously, it's really solid. Everything's good, but it's not like a cliffhanger. You don't know what's gonna happen next because you're really content with how things end usually.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, I'm excited for next week, but I feel like I can wait. But
Yeah.
you don't know what's gonna happen next, as in like literally there's no linear plot line going on.
Exactly. Exactly.
There is no point A to point B. It's like watching a crime show. They start off with a case, they end the case, then you're done with that episode. And this way, it's like, sometimes they carry it over to 2 episodes, like how the guild showed up at the end of the last one, and then how they show up on this one. But I don't know, I want to know what's going to happen next, because Yi is doing something.
Yeah.
Yi has a plan, and that's what this series is based around. And he was talking about competition, and obviously he's training Bun. And
Tongro.
Yeah, Tongro. He's training people. He's getting people involved. I feel like he's building a team, and he's going to go to a...
He could.
He could very, very easily do that, mainly because he's breaking records that pro teams are currently struggling with.
Yeah.
And just... something's going on, and I need to figure it out what, because he's unpredictable.
Yeah, he really is. It's impossible to guess what he's thinking. He didn't switch to another team
for Miching. He quit entirely because, he's being forced out, but he didn't switch because of Miching. Now he's basically making his own team and talking about championships. Not entirely sure if he's actually going to one or not now, but he could very easily do that.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
I can't figure out where this anime is going.
Neither can I. But
it's totally up in the air.
The one guy that he told to become like a ghost blade or whatever, the 1-inch ash guy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna be important down the road.
I'm not.
I feel like he's gonna come up. Like either Yi's gonna be like fighting him, or he's gonna, turn and do something, be against Tiny Herb or something. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I think something's gonna happen with him.
I think something's gonna happen with him, and not to be rude, but I don't think he's gonna become.
Well, maybe important was the wrong word.
Because a thing I've noticed in a lot of anime is, you always have a side character that has a side story, mainly to distract you so you're not so heavy based on the main story. Because you can focus on the main plot line so much that you just kind of like lose yourself in it.
Yeah.
And then if you have like a side story going along with it, you back up and you see the whole thing as a whole, and you can take it in a better manner.
Yeah.
And that's what I think he is. He's kind of like just a side story. I think things will happen with him. I think they'll probably have more interactions with other characters in the future. But for the main storyline, I don't entirely feel like he's going to become more important in that aspect. I like him, but I don't think he's going to become more important to the main plot line.
Well, maybe important was the wrong choice of word, but like you kind of got what I was saying with he's going to be in there a lot more. I guess I didn't necessarily mean important, but
well, on the other hand, he could easily become Yi's rival.
He could, but I don't think
he has the potential to become anything at this point. Mainly because he's just his own thing, and most of Tiny Herb is all like, oh, this guy. And everyone else is like, oh, the assassin guy. And he's just like, oh, I'm not so good at the game. But, obviously he's like, oh, you've got a lot of potential, you're just playing.
Yeah.
So he has potential to become basically anything he wants at this point. Mm-hmm. He could eventually become like a leader of his own thing, of his own pro league.
He could.
And that would become a whole interesting topic, but I don't know why, I just don't get the sense from him that he's going to become more important. Like, not... It's a mean way of saying it, but I don't think he's going to be a main character. That's what I mean.
Yeah, probably not.
It's like the exact opposite of Shikimi. There we go. Shikimi is like set up as a main character, but isn't. And he has the approach of a main character, but he's not set up like one.
Yeah, could be.
So I just see him as a side character and just kind of staying that way. But who knows? He might actually become a full-on main character, and when the championships come up, he's just gonna like wreck everybody. Who knows?
Could be. And side note here, an actual side note, not just a side note meaning new topic, but real life side note. Steamed Bun is actually just as stupid in person as he is in the game.
I figured that.
And
like just because like if you ever play online with people and you deal with them, you're like, this is probably how you are in person.
Yeah.
And for him, he didn't seem all that intelligent. He was obviously new to the game. He probably obviously doesn't play all that much video games because he doesn't know how the heck a brawler class works. And just like it was totally predictable that he was like a brawler in real life.
Yeah.
Especially when like, in the earlier episodes when they were talking, he was all like, it's like rolling with my gang in the street. He actually said a line very similar to that. And I'm just like, yeah, he's probably some type of troublemaker.
Yeah.
So it was totally expected. But yeah, when I saw like the sneakers and the music change, I was definitely thinking, it's gonna be Steam Bun. And when it showed the hair, which was very similar to his character,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Although it's kind of weird to have him actually like show up in person.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
So maybe he's gonna actually like stick around.
Like you said, maybe they're gonna start a little team together. You've got 3 of them. You've got 3 people already sitting in that cafe. So maybe.
I want the boss to get involved more.
Yeah, I don't know what her role is. She's kind of always been there, but she's like
at the very beginning she was set up like a main character.
Yeah, she really was.
The way that she was connecting to Yi and all that. And on top of that, her avatar is spaced pretty evenly throughout the intro.
Yeah.
But she's just not there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what her role is.
I think the most we've seen of her recently was when she gave a sneer at Steam Bun. And that was about it.
Yeah, she's
okay then.
Each episode sees her less and less.
Yeah, and I don't like that because I actually like her. But whatever.
Yeah, she's pretty likable. But whatever. Okay. Alright. Do you know what time it is right now? Do you know what time it is? Get hype right now.
55.
Shut up.
Or 56.
Alright, stop.
Friday, May 26th.
Stop it. Stop right now.
2017.
Stop. It is
summertime.
Not that time. Summertime. Shut your mouth.
Yeah, school's over. What?
Shut up. Alright. It is time for the retro redemption segment.
Is it that time?
Is it? Oh, no, it's 4:56 p.m. May 26, 2017. Whatever, all the stuff you said.
So I was right.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
All right. What do we got for retro redemption this week, buddy?
How would you feel if I say I didn't pick anything?
I would feel like you didn't, and that would be the end of the show.
Oh, well, then. I'm glad it's not the end of the show, then.
Oh!
So I went from going, like, pretty new, like, 2015 to, like, geez, what was it, 2007? And now I was like, let's go somewhere closer to the middle. So I went ahead with 2013. Luckily, I actually watched something from this springtime. If I didn't, I would be really disappointed and be like, let's binge one within a day, and like, because I was dead set on 2013. what I landed on was Date Alive.
Ooh.
I'm not. I don't think it's based off of a. Oh crap! What is it called? One of those dating simulators? I don't think it is, but that's basically what it is.
That's weird.
It's actually pretty cool. It's a very comedic show, but at the same time, there's actually quite a bit of violence, or not violence, but like action, and there is a very disturbing character in it that I actually have a crush on. But
chill.
Besides that, she's awesome. Her name's Kurumi, and
you got a body pillow, homie?
I want one.
No.
I want one,
That's
but it's
a negative.
expensive.
That's a negative. You're not gonna get one.
Crap, I forgot the main character's name.
Do.
Oh, what's the main character's name? I don't remember. Oh no. Anyways, so Tokyo started experiencing things called space quakes, and it's like literally the fabric of space is rippling, and it's like 18 times worse than any type of earthquake. And it starts affecting Japan and starts affecting a ton of people. The first one, I believe, kills 150 million people.
Ooh.
Like, this stuff, it destroys everything. And I think what they explained to the public is a space quake is similar to like just a black hole that appears.
Wow.
And that's basically what it is, except what they don't tell you is something comes out of every space quake.
Mm-hmm. There we go, boys.
And that something is a person.
Oh, that's that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, no, that's not what you're expecting. So Date Alive, so the main character, there's this lock and load agency that deals with space quakes and all the people that come out of them. And the people that come out of them don't intentionally try to they're like, I'm here to destroy the planet. They're more like show up and they're just talking to people and them being around in a non-peaceful, they're called spirits, and I believe they have some form of energy level about them, and the longer that they're around, the higher the energy level goes up, the more crap they destroy. But they're all powerful spirits. So the agency that goes to fight them head on has mech girls to go and try to kill them, and basically it's like fighting a god with a toy car.
Heck yeah, dude, I love that. I love doing that.
That's basically what it comes down to, because the spirits wreck these mech girls. And so the main character, funnily enough, I don't remember why. I think he went to go look for he goes to go look for his sister, because everyone goes into these bomb shelter areas when space quakes happen, and his sister didn't show up to meet him in this specific bomb shelter. So he leaves the bomb shelter to go look for his sister while a space quake is happening. And while he's looking for his sister, the first spirit shows up. Literally in front of him. And she's dressed like Alice from Recreators.
Oh.
Full on body armor and a claymore the size of a person. No joke. And she's just sitting there, and they lock eyes, and they're like, "Oh, you're so cute, yada yada yada." Turns out the main character figures out a way to settle down the spirits to stop space quakes, and without killing them. And that's to make them fall in love.
Oh, yay! Literally,
the entire show is about is basically set up as a dating simulator. A space quake happens, a spirit comes out of it, the agency now goes from trying to kill them to making the main character make them fall for them.
That's amazing.
And that's the entire show. It's ridiculously good. It's really funny. My favorite character is Kurumi,
Yeah, we all know that. Don't worry.
but she has a lot of character, and I mean that as in like she's not a 2D psychopath kind of.
Oh,
Like she's not like Shikimi.
got him.
She's full on like she has a lot of in-depth character traits that you need to look out for because it's very subtle. But overall, it's actually a really good show. When I first started it, I wasn't thinking it was until I watched it, and I'm like, "Ooh, this ain't too bad." But it had a lot of interesting fluctuations in it. You know, going from full-on violence to full-on romance to to all of this stuff, and the entire time, the main character is still trying to go to school
Oh, good.
while trying to maintain relationships with like 8 different people. Like that, yeah. So it's really interesting. It's really good. There's actually some twists in it you wouldn't expect. No spoiling, but it's a really intricate storyline. So 10 out of 10, I would recommend. And it's got an average rating from users. I'm looking at my anime list right now. It's got a score of 7.5, so not bad, not flat out average because that would be like what 5 stars, I guess. So it's above average. It's a good anime. It's great for killing time. You won't regret it, and if you do, then you probably shouldn't be watching this genre.
Got him.
So yeah, that's this weekly anime's rundown, and it's Data Live.
Lit. All right. So that's our show. That's our weekly anime rundown episode for this week and last week because we missed last week.
Fun stuff.
Fun, great, fun, awesome, amazing stuff. Make sure you guys comment down below, letting us know all the fun stuff you watch in anime, and let us know what shows you watch that are coming out this season. And we got a nice little segment called Viewer's Choice where we pick one anime and we watch it and we give it the rundown, just like we do with the other 5 shows we do every week. And the most commented anime is the one we'll pick. So get to commenting, or don't. It's fine. We read every comment. We try to reply to every comment. So even if it's not a suggestion for the viewer's choice segment, make sure you comment anyway, because we love to read
like to hear
the
what
comments.
you guys think.
Love it. Love it. Not like it, we love it.
Okay, fine.
And hit the share button. Let everybody else know that watches anime. Let them know about this. Hit us up. Let us know what's going on.
Leave a like if you liked it.
Leave
Leave
a
a
like.
comment whether you liked it or not. Hit the share button so other people can tell us what they think. And subscribe if you want to hear this because we'll do our best to come out every week. Thank you for showing up. Hope to see you next time. Bye.
Got 'em, dude. See y'all next time.